I saw you talking with Steven. Yeah, he showed me the YouTube video where you flamed him for like 25 minutes. Sorry, 45 minutes.
Holy. Okay, so hopefully my Discord doesn't crash a lot, but I think if I share my whole screen, it won't crash a lot. Okay, there we go. What's your username on League? Send me your
Obstreperous1 here. I'll just message it to you.
Okay, cool. So, which game did you want me to take a look at?
I'd be interested. So wait. Oh wait, sorry. Here, let me send you the other account that I just played on because I'm curious as to how I would have.
Okay, hopefully Discord stops doing that. But send me the account in which game you have that you want me to watch, and then I'll give my input.
Alright, so just the most recent Irelia game on there.
Oh, that is a weird name.
Yeah.
Okay. Sheesh. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm gaining 13 on each account, so it's sort of tragic.
No, okay. In this game, you also played with Steven. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just sort of hanging out.
Okay. Okay, so I'm not gonna say anything about Steven's gameplay, despite being an ADC main. But I also do play top and mid, so and game knowledge is transferable. So I'll give you my best input as much as possible. You can see the whole screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So before this game even starts, where should you be heading to look at or scout?
So looking at their team comp, I'd be ready for like an invade, specifically like around the standard brush, like river entrance. Like
here
right
or
yeah, right there. And that's where I'd be expecting to find a Seraphine, especially because they have a decent amount of first level one.
Yeah, that's correct. The two locations that mid lane will usually watch is either right here on the red side, or they will go into where you're talking about over here as well.
Yeah.
Right?
I usually stand there.
Yeah, that's usually your go-to location as to where you want to go. Okay, so let's speed up.
So I'm versus a Draven mid. So sort of what I'm thinking is, first few levels not going to be fun. I'll just give CS until I hit level 3, and then I can dive in and out and then kill him.
Okay. Discord's restarting. Okay, so hopefully Discord doesn't do that in the future, but here's my stream. So you said your game plan is to
just not get too poked out.
Don't get poked out.
And then level 3 I can start looking for plays. I need to make sure that I don't get hit by a Draven E.
Plays. Okay. Now this isn't wrong. This is the correct approach that you want to go about in a melee versus ranged matchup. Typically. In mid lane. Damn Discord. Okay. Sheesh. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. So this is your typical matchup. This is your game plan. This is correct. Now let's refine this game plan. Let's level 3 look for all-in plays. Now, what is the most concrete way to execute this play? Oh, damn it. What is the best concrete play
You-
to
you're seeing
execute
ones.
this play? To execute this game plan is my question to you.
Okay, so in order to execute it, basically, I want him to push into me.
Mhm.
I need to, like I said, so not get poked out. What I want to do is I want to try to hit level 3 first. So ideally, I need to let him build a wave so that my turret is helping me kill minions as I hit level 3, so I can kill him before he's level 3.
Mhm.
I don't do that this game because the wave isn't right.
Mhm.
But that's usually my ideal work case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so from what I've studied, you're not wrong. You're on the right path. Your game plan should be to let him shove. Give up CS. Give up CS. Let ranged shove.
And so the
All
Draven-
in
sorry.
level 3. Uh-huh.
So the Draven by no means plays this matchup well.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't zone me from XP or CS,
Mhm.
like other than like the first few levels.
Okay.
And so like it comes down to the place where I started having a problem is where Lee Sin, who killed my Gangplank 5 times, comes mid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we'll just watch it. We'll just watch it.
Also, I think it was this game that Steven was complaining to me about the super fed Lee Sin. Oh, yeah, it's this game. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, though. Regarding this game plan,
I didn't have a plan around the jungler, and I think that's where I sort of fucked up the game.
Okay.
He was already fed before he even ganked mid once.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't respect that, and I especially didn't expect the Lee Sin making good plays with his ulti to set him up.
Okay.
Well, I think I should have warded. Yeah, we'll see. You'll.
Let's watch it out first, and
Yeah.
and then we can figure it out. But for now, I want you to disregard the game plan as well, and
Okay.
you should also be. What isn't in this game plan that normally you should be doing is to look at what your enemy is doing. And punish on mistakes. So you don't necessarily have to let Draven shove the wave into you. If he's not punishing you, you can punish him instead, right? You can still keep the wave in the middle. That's called situational play style or playing, where you're able to you don't have to abide by this strict game plan. You can be more flexible, especially as a mid laner.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
keep that in mind.
I didn't explain it, but that is something I think I pretty regularly do.
Yeah. It's important to know the game plan and to execute it, but you also need to be flexible and see what your team or the enemy team is doing as well, and work around that. That's League of Legends in a complete nutshell. So, let's keep going. So we do this. This is normal. This is standard.
30 seconds
Okay.
until minions spawn.
Just back out. Just ping. Doesn't seem like there's any ping whatsoever.
I ended up turning chat off, and for some reason I stopped pinging, but I should certainly start again.
Yeah, it's a really good habit. Think of pinging in League of Legends as signaling when you're driving. You signal when you're driving to let other people on the road know what you're doing or what your intentions are, right? So that you don't cause a traffic accident or a car accident, right? That's what you want to avoid. Pinging and communicating with your team is the exact same way. So
it sort of seemed like everybody figured it out since Carlos decided to head topside, and I was in a VC with Faye.
Yeah, but again, it's a habit thing. It's a habitual thing, and your teammates will definitely get angry at you if you don't ping.
So he has 2 axes, so I'm not walking up. I'm just seating the...
This is fine. This is good. Oh, before I continue on, how many minions do you need to get level 2 in mid?
7.
Yep, that's correct. And then how many minions do you need to get level 3 in mid?
It comes on the 4th wave, I think.
Wrong.
5th wave?
Nope, but that's wrong.
Okay, which one?
So
I do not know.
level 3 in mid lane and top lane, because it's solo EXP, it's approximately the first 2 waves plus 2 melees on 3rd wave.
Okay.
And this is an important and vital information to have memorized, because everybody will know about the level 2, but very few people have level 3 memorized down. So if you can memorize when you get level 3, you don't have to look at your EXP. You just count how many minions you've gone, and you can just go straight for your execution or your play. This is a trick that I usually am able to use against majority of players in both top lane, mid, and bottom when I'm playing. And it always catches the enemy off guard, all the way up to diamond even. So this will be a very important thing to memorize.
Definitely useful in general. I don't know how special that is specifically for Irelia, because he doesn't, in terms of level 3 all in, I'm not sure level 3 helps a whole ton relative to like Draven.
Yeah, well, it's just a matter of important information to keep memorized, right? So if I know the amount of minions needed to level up, then I can keep track of both my level and the enemy level, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna see the enemy's EXP indicator, right? When you're playing in the game, especially in laning phase. So it's important to memorize both level 2 and level 3 so that you don't get caught off by their all-in when they engage on you right before they get level 3. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So try and memorize that information in the future. You can even go into training tool to test it out, see the exact number yourself, and to figure out.
So like 3rd wave, 2 melees.
On the 3rd wave, it's just the 2 melee minions, and then you get level 3.
Yeah.
It's an important information to have memorized, so test it out, see it for yourself, and then have it memorized down, so you never get caught off by that ever again. And so you can also make plays with it as well. Let's continue. This is fine. You could essentially walk up closer. And then if the Draven were to walk up, all you have to do is walk back, right? You just want to be in range of like possibly getting the minion while being out of range of Draven. If he doesn't punish you, you get the minion for free, right? So
yeah, but you're right.
Because you don't want to just give up minions for free. Especially
what I was imagining is because he's already he's already within attack range of it, so I figure I won't risk getting caught off guard and just losing HP.
Yeah, it's very important to notice. But the reason why I also say this is that in higher elos, you will definitely get more punished. Because the enemy players will know their spacing more between range and poking, right?
Yeah.
So they'll be able to zone you out more efficiently. However, since we're in Platinum, we're in P4, this is low elo. So you should definitely pay attention to enemy spacing, because this will allow you to learn whether the enemy is mispositioned or not, or whether they can punish you or whether you can punish them. If you constantly play safe like this, you're never gonna learn the exact distance that will look on your screen, where you can and cannot get punished, while being able to play as aggressively as possible, right? So, important things to keep down. But this is fine for now. You're also just letting Draven have complete dominance in the lane instead of thinning out this wave. Because when you want to get level 3 over here when the wave crashes under your tower, you want to make sure that the wave isn't too big.
Yeah, I think actually I do end up getting level 3 before him. So, yeah.
Yeah. This is just important to know because you haven't gotten a single minion whatsoever. So if you can thin the wave out, do so. Let's continue.
Yeah, I just missed CS for no reason.
That one, so you missed a CS and then you weren't paying attention to Draven's spacing. Don't walk up to that one, yeah.
So this is where I'm going to hit level 3 first, I think. I don't mind taking poke here because I'm just going to Q heal back all of it with corrupting pots.
And that's the entire 2 waves. Okay. Now it's
and that this is
2, and that's you see how I told you the exact number as to when you get level 3, right?
Yeah.
So imagine had you did not waste your E earlier, and if you knew when you get level 3, you were up here in this lane, Irelia, right? If you had your E ready, and if you were ready to go in after getting level 3, this is an all-in opportunity right here. Because you're so close to him, right? And you can land the E. So this would have stunned him, and then you would have been able to go in. If anything, you just back out, but then you win the trade, right? So again, you mentioned that you get level 3 here, but you're unable to capitalize on this opportunity that you just got. So this is something I want you to memorize in the future, if you can. Very important information.
I've got it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if I'm hitting level 3 first, I should just hit level 3 before I kill him, or try to kill him.
And you saw
that was a misplay.
And you saw the exact number that I told you when you get level 3, right? In this replay.
Yeah. After the 2 minutes.
Okay. Let's keep going. So now you're kind of just you get level 3. You're going in level 3 versus level 2, but since you can't capitalize on the play, you're just far out, and Draven gets to auto attack you, and you've lost what? Say like 3/5 of your HP for no reason. Like you've lost all this HP for no reason because you didn't manage your spacing correctly, and you didn't manage executing level 3 all in because you didn't realize, right?
Yeah.
So this
I'm still sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this completely gives up mid pressure.
Yeah.
So you don't have any pressure for mid. You're shoved in. You need to reset.
No,
your jungler doesn't have pressure because of that, and now they have a hard time contesting Scuttle.
Yeah. Okay.
So
can I sort of explain what's going on in my mind right now?
Yeah.
So our jungler is doing a reverse clear from where their jungle started. So they're probably not going to be contesting Scuttle Crab anyway, especially because Karthus is a fairly quick clear. I still have my 3 pots, and I just chugged them, and so I still have Q healing on top of that. Draven can't push that wave underneath because he's Draven and he doesn't have enough pushing power to actually get it under. So as long as I'm somewhat clearing minions, he can't get under. He's in a perfect game position for Karthus.
Yeah.
All Karthus needs to do is drop his slow on him, and he's either dead or has to blow flash.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Here's the thing, though. In that explanation that you just gave me, what it sounds like is you're relying on teammates.
Yeah, he doesn't come, despite the fact that it's pretty well set up.
Now, this is a coin flipping factor.
Did you write trash mates?
Or teammates.
I thought that's very funny.
This is coin flip right here. This is a 50% win rate playstyle, or like below 50%, honestly, because what this entails is that you're allowing yourself to make mistakes, your own mistakes that could very well just win the game. That if you didn't make these mistakes, you could win lane a lot more consistently, win early game, have early game pressure for river, have early game priority in mid lane, have wards, pressure for wards, and you would alleviate pressure on your jungler as well, right? It doesn't really matter where Carter started or where he's pathing. It's that you have to execute your laning phase correctly. Don't care about what he's doing. You play around what you think it's right and what you think you should be doing in order to win the game. Whatever your teammates' mistakes are, just ping them off of it or work around it. Right. Main priority is to focus on yourself. And although I myself will critique my teammates a lot, it's because I know how to set up these plays myself. So sometimes when things don't go correctly, when I do set them up correctly myself, that's when I get mad. However, in 99% of other players' cases, they will mess up the execution or the macro or the game plan. So then, the 99% of players, including yourself, needs to focus on your own gameplay and execution instead. Don't worry about what the Karthus is doing. Focus on your own gameplay. So all of this that just happened is no one else's fault but your own. Right? Because it wasn't Karthus who made you miss position here.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm not blaming Karthus, to be clear. I was just talking about how it was pretty set up for him. And so that's what I was thinking at this moment. I'm not saying this game is Karthus' fault. I'll be honest, it isn't. I just want to know what I could have done to carry it.
And that's what we're focusing on. So small stuff like this, winning lane by yourself, even if you mess up and your lane is set up for ganks on Draven, you have to win lane by yourself.
Yeah.
This is the most important thing that you need to learn, because your teammates are always going to be randomized. All 4 out of 5 of your teammates are all randomized. The only consistent factor is always that one player, which is you.
Yeah.
Right? So you can only, in reality, and because you can only control your own actions, you have to focus on your own gameplay. On what you can do instead. So stuff like this is what you need to work on. At least already in the early game. And this is just barely 3 minutes, just so you know.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah. Let's keep going. Okay.
So I prepped with 3 minions to have to
yeah, to get the cannon. That's fine. Okay, so Draven is trying to zone you, and there currently isn't. Your Karthus is on bottom side. If you take a look at your Karthus,
yeah. Can we see? Is he? Did he? Why didn't he clear his blue? Or maybe he's just like. So he cleared his wolf's drop. I don't know why he didn't clear his
he wanted to go for the scuttle first, is what I'm assuming. I couldn't care less what he's doing right now.
I just was curious from when I played the game next time.
So you're also, you know how like your wave is bouncing back, right? So it's becoming better.
Yeah. So this is where would be the perfect time for me to kill it.
This is when you can start playing more forward and aggressive as well.
Yeah, and this way, if I do kill him, I get that under turret. I'm out. He misses like 2 waves.
Bigger wave. Every time you have a bigger wave, it's typically your chance to play more aggressively. That's a general game knowledge for every lane and everywhere.
Okay. So I'm still trying to. So I was just watching sort of matchup, watching his mana cost here. I was curious, like, do I? So I'm fine here. I do have flash. I didn't expect Viego there, I suppose, because it sort of seemed weird for him to be marching down mid lane. Here I'm going to recall, because right now he's really low HP. This is a perfect time for me to teleport, just so I can use TP as a combat summoner. I'm going to TP onto this minion, and then I'm going to kill it.
Okay. Let me lower this real quick. There also wasn't any pings. I know your Karthus was looking anyway, but you could also ping to make it more obvious that you want Karthus to look for a gank here.
Yeah, I was pinging Draven. Where is it? Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Irelia has targeted Draven.
Okay. Or like the assist ping, you know.
Red team double kill.
Okay.
Okay, so here I'm waiting for him to walk up because that minion's ready for me to dash to him.
And then right here.
I am waiting for him to juke himself out.
And then there we go. Nice kill. Yeah.
And this is perfect for me. I get this huge wave under.
And you shove this hard.
And this is also a good recall timer for me since that's huge.
Yep, exactly.
And now we're using
This is
CS, which is ideal.
So I will say that partly what you can focus on, it's a bit more niche. Not really the important thing, but mechanics.
Yeah, no, I fucked up the mechanic there.
Yeah.
I pressed Q on the minion and then it just didn't go. I pressed it one more time, it didn't go. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna walk at him. And press Q on him.
Most important thing is to set up macro play correctly.
Yeah, the mechanics on Irelia have to be good too, otherwise.
Because if you set up the macro play correctly, then at that point it's just execution, right? So at execution, it's how clean you, execute the correct macro play. But at least you will be doing the correct thing if you set up the correct macro play. So then when you're executing mechanics at that point, it's practicing, not really coin flipping, right? Whereas the first time you had gone in on that Draven, there was a Viego that appeared out of nowhere. Although you could have killed him there, it was a bit more coin flippy, right?
Yeah, I probably would have died to Viego.
But had your mechanics been cleaner, you probably could have gone away. If your mechanics...
I have nothing to dash to, and probably not, because Draven probably ends up throwing his E on top of me. I'm slowed, and then Viego chases me down with his stun and, just speed up. So I don't think I make it out of there alive.
Exactly. And if you didn't have flash and everything to get out, or if you had worse mechanics and you actually did die, all Draven has to do is base, and then that wave will shove back in and he forces you to TP and he doesn't miss anything. So stuff like that you have to be really careful on.
Yeah, no, I understood that situation.
Let's get back to lane. Where do you think you should ward the moment you get back to lane?
So I'm thinking I want to ward start I don't think I'm going to be ganked from bot side, because he doesn't want to be there anymore. I imagine he's clearing. He wants to start heading top side because that's where his camps are spawning next. So I should ward in preparation for getting ganked from top side.
Well, seeing as Viego passed by earlier, I'd say the safest place to ward would have been on bottom side, around here. So
Sure.
if I go to that
well,
location,
Let's see where he is right now.
I say you would ward right here. Because this gives complete entry of Viego walking. And it's also because you have your jungler on top side.
Yeah.
So if you actually see the enemy jungler coming from top side, because your jungler on top side is a moving ward for you, you have the bottom side in this area warded instead, because you don't have a moving ward in this area to scout for Viego. And you also put this ward here because Viego has an invisibility ability, right? Where he can just walk. So you want to see him cast it before he... you want to see him before he casts it. So this is why you would ward here instead of like the bush, right?
Yeah.
Or here. So,
Can you press tab real quick so I can see the game state?
and then if you look at where Viego is, he's bottom side.
Yeah, okay.
So,
So,
important distinction, for in my opinion, is why I would ward here instead. And
you're right.
yeah, understanding jungle pathing, and then Discord crashed. Understanding jungle pathing and then trying to figure out and think what the enemy will do in regards to also where your team is positioned is important thing to study on. However, sometimes things can get pretty dicey, you know? Because a really good jungler will be able to make their pathing unpredictable. So even if you ward accordingly, like right here, you never know. He could actually come from top side, right? But it's just a general game plan that you have an idea where you should be warding in order to play for that side. Even if you did ward top side, you would be hugging around top side then, because this would give you vision, and the moment you see them, you back off. If you ward on bottom side, you could play more in the middle because you have a jungler on top side, or you could play closer to your bottom side of mid lane that way, because you have vision, and if you see them coming, you just back off, right? So yeah, let's continue. So right now you're sitting on 2 wards, right? This is your tempo to ward, but it doesn't seem like you're trying to. You could have even gotten like a preparation ward too, right? So you could have gotten like a ward here, which would have given
I usually
you...
ward once I've pushed out a wave.
Yeah.
I was thinking since the wave is pushing into me, I'm safe right now anyway. This isn't like necessarily what I'm thinking at this moment.
Yeah.
I don't think in most cases, like in terms of my behavior, I ward here because I'm getting pushed under. I'm safe.
Yeah.
Like I'm in danger if I make a play on it. If I'm getting baited and I make a play on it. Right?
Here's an important concept that I want to talk about as well with warding. So right now, here's your vision line. This is the line that you're able to go out and ward at the moment, because Draven is slow pushing. So you're able to go out for a ward here at the current moment, or deeper into their jungle, right? Where I'm dotting on the minimap. And it's because Draven is slow pushing. So you have an opportunity, instead of just standing still, to look for a ward, even if it's close by. Whatever information and not holding on to 2 trinkets is better than no information at all. Preferably.
Yeah.
So
I'd say warding is not my strong suit.
Yeah. So definitely something to work on as well. So you see how you just walk into lane, right? And now your vision line is getting thinner because Draven is pushing, so it's at this minion, which means your only option is to ward this push right here, and then just
but I don't want to ward there really.
Yeah. Well, you should, but and you had the time to, but you didn't. So you're holding on to 2 wards, and you have no vision whatsoever of either side. Now you see Viego bottom, and you hear a bunch of pings. So just play accordingly. Your bot lane's doing stuff, whatever. Who cares? Just focus on your lane. Okay. Card just gotta kill top. Your jungler's top side. Your team's making a play bottom. It doesn't look like it's working out. Okay, you missed the cannon.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think I accidentally queued on to them instead of.
And now you're making a play on Draven, which is okay. Not the cleanest execution, obviously, but the important.
It's hard to land. Yeah, no, yeah. You're right. Not cleanest. I should have let him juke himself out after I landed my ulti like I did last time.
But what I was going to comment on though is that this is a correct macro play, right? So remember how I talked earlier about making correct macro plays and then worrying about your mechanics after, right? Because by all means, Draven is close to your tower. You're thinning out the wave, so Draven's not going to be able to do much. And all you have to do is just all in him, right? And you know the enemy team was just bottom, so they're nowhere near here. This is a 1v1. It was correct for you to go in, so this is good. Good job here. So at this point, you just have to work on your mechanics when you make a play like this. Because despite how much more work that you could do with your mechanics, the play was correct and it works out because you made the correct choice, right?
Yeah.
So this is a good example of what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, and here I just W the wave.
W the wave and shove it. You know they're all playing. Oh, also your top didn't ping.
Yeah, my top doesn't do a lot of things.
Your top doesn't ping, and you know they just cleared dragon. So you want to play around like the middle, around your top side of mid, and then clear that wave and reset. Obviously. And then probably a good idea to question mark this Lee Sin. Yep. This is fine. Draven respawns the time. You tumble back into laning in time. So let's speed this up.
So right now I'm thinking about my 1v1. I didn't have enough money to buy a pickaxe, but I did have enough item to finish boots. So I just get boots because I think I can 2v1 if I light a double ulti double stun. Then it's fine. But I was not expecting the lane swap, I suppose. You're going to see what happens next, which is sort of sad.
The lane swapping, that's perfectly fine. You play relatively the same. And just so you know, in the last like 3-4 minutes, you've held on to 2 trinkets. So let's see how long you've held on to this trinket for. Because right now it's 7 minutes. Okay, you've used the ward. You've had 2 trinkets from 4 minutes. At 4 minutes. And then if we go all the way up to 7 minutes after the play and after you reset, you still have 2 trinkets.
Yep.
Meaning the trinkets, you know how they last like I think 120 seconds? That's 2 minutes. That's vital information you could have had on the map for your team and yourself that you didn't use in 3 minutes time, right?
Yeah.
So these 2 trinkets have just been sitting on you and you haven't provided your team with any information, which also, by the way, makes it difficult for your team to know where the mid lane went. If you warded in the middle, you could see where Draven paths or whoever's in mid lane paths to after they shove in the wave. Or you could have wards in the jungle, right? Like I mentioned earlier, and you could possibly see where the enemy jungler is coming from, right? But since you haven't used any trinkets in the last 3.5 minutes, you have no information that you're providing to your team.
Yeah.
So Lee Sin could be
a really basic thing that I should probably fix.
Definitely, and then pinging that your laner is Mia as well. And it's also that because your team has no information to work with, and you don't know where Lee Sin went to either top or bottom after shoving, right? You don't. Your team on both sides have to be very cautious of Lee Sin because he could appear at either top lane right now, and if we look at top lane, There's a play. They're making a play on the Draven. Lee Sin could just come in up here and maybe like clean it up. Or if you look at your bot lane, they're diving. They're fighting down here too, and Lee Sin could just appear. And then like maybe one of them dies, right?
No, I pinged. Enemy's
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah. Yeah, but you pinged once. It's still very minimal.
Okay.
You want to ping like at least 2-3 times, so that it's
Alright.
more heard across the map, right? I think.
So,
Do you know that depending on the distance as to where your camera is at, the ping is either quieter or louder?
yeah. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
aware.
So it's important that you ping more than once, because if you ping at mid lane and your team's camera is on their camera at top lane or bottom, the sound isn't as visible if you just ping once, right?
Mhm.
So if you ping 2 or 3 times, your teammates will more likely hear it. So
Huh.
that's something you can work on as well. Just small stuff. Shove in, be very careful. You have no vision whatsoever. Lee Sin comes from bottom side, right?
Yeah.
So it was imperative that you had to play in the middle, because you don't know whether they're going to come from top or bot. You shove in and you don't have any vision, so you have to play it around the middle. You can't just walk up, because you never know if like a Viego and a Lee Sin just appears. But we see Viego bottom right
Yeah.
now, so it's just Lee
Viego's
Sin.
fun.
Still very important to know where the enemy is coming from, because even seeing where they're coming from a second or two earlier will allow you to make a quick game plan on how to trade versus them, or 1v1 them, or outplay them, right?
Yes.
So instinctive information.
So here I make it out
Uh-huh.
because he can't.
Uh-huh.
Blue team double kill.
Nice dodge.
And here, so I'm gearing up to actually kill him.
Uh-huh. You
if
do not have
I
that.
don't know where Viego is.
Yeah.
So,
we saw Viego bottom.
Yeah, but he's not there.
Yeah, but it's important that we know Viego was bottom, so we know where
So I
he's
was
going
trying to set up the wave there
Uh-huh.
to go in, but I didn't expect him to clear basically my entire wave. That's what he.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, fine. I
That's-
guess I'm not making a play.
that's perfectly fine. We just play patient from here.
So I actually want him to go in over here. I have my thresh coming.
Just so you know, again, it's 8 minutes and 35 seconds.
Yeah, no,
You-
I know.
I'm
This
going
isn't
to keep
necessarily-
repeating this, because
Alright,
4
well-
minutes, 30 seconds
Alright.
now, because this is
Fair.
just very vital. Information is the most important thing, especially in high elo, right?
Mhm.
If you want to get out of P4 and maybe one day make it to D4, vision
Ideal.
and information is your best friend.
Yeah.
You see how
So-
Viego ping? It's because they have vision, right, of him?
Alright. So I think this is sort of doomed from the start. It's not happening. Thresh makes an admirable hook, but
Doesn't work. Ping him back off.
doesn't work.
Ping him off. You had Temple to ward.
Mhm.
You know your carcass is topside.
So I decided not to go for that because he might
That's
just ward hop behind me afterwards and
Uh-huh.
kick or
Yeah.
do something.
That was fine. That was fine. Still really dark. This makes it really hard for you to play aggressively because you don't really have any vision in your lane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
We don't.
It certainly contributed to gimping me.
Uh-huh. Yep. And Viego
So-
comes from topside, right?
Yeah. So I actually yeah.
So say your thing first before I comment.
No, you'll see. I sort of.
Okay.
So I should have. And then I was hoping to disjoint his Q.
Uh-huh.
I think where like you can flash the damage.
Yeah.
I think I narrowly did it, but I probably should have just let it hit flash.
Mhm. Or just
afterwards.
flash the Q entirely.
Yeah. I was hoping I could bait a kill. out of that.
So I'll just write out right here a bunch of notes. Lacking vision. 2x trinkets for 6 minutes now. About to be 6 minutes. Right? So you've held on to 2 trinkets for over 6 minutes now. You haven't... If you had you had tempo the entire time. I mentioned where you had tempo, right? Or a timing or a window opportunity when you were able to get wards. And it's important that you have those wards out so that you know where to position in mid lane. But since you were forced to play in the middle, and then Lee Sin just goes in unexpectedly and kicks you towards Viego, you can't really position properly against this, right?
Yeah.
So, again, that's it's making what you have to do in order to win the lane much harder because you lack vision entirely. And it's also making your jungler's life hard indirectly because they have no vision to work with in mid lane. And whatever other teammates, if they're trying to roam up. Or if the enemy team is roaming, right? Yeah. Because you haven't placed any wards down in the last 6 minutes, your team doesn't know what the enemy team is thinking because of that. Think about how easy it is if your mini-map looked like this, right? Where you constantly knew where the enemy was at.
Yeah.
Because you could just literally see where they're at. That's what vision is trying to provide for you, or what it should provide for you. That's how it should be placed, how it should be thought, and what you can do with it, if that makes sense. It's a in-game tool to help you win games. So you best utilize it as much as you can. So they make a play here or whatever. Let's ignore them. The important thing is that because you had no vision to work with, you had to you had some mechanical misplays there as well, but you definitely could have gone now. Your mid lane could have definitely been a lot easier laning wise, and you would have given your team a lot and yourself a lot more opportunities and information to work with in order to win the lane. Because by all means, you could have killed the Lee Sin. You had the chances to on your own in 1v1s as well. But because you had no vision, it makes it really hard when to decide when you can go in and do stuff like that. And then the rest that's left is just mechanics, right?
Yeah.
So we see Lee Sin backing off. We shove in. That's perfectly fine. Okay. And it took 6.5 minutes till you placed the win. Okay. That's fine. And then that's fine. Right? So do you see how like you walked out, your jungler came up and was able to help you easily, and Lee Sin, I don't know, by God, all means, he literally outplayed himself.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything to win this for the most part. All you had to do was land E. That was super easy because he was on top of you. W, you didn't have to do anything mechanically crazy, right? And this is platinum. And this is low elo. A lot of players will make mistakes like this. Both yourself, your teammates, and the enemy. Right? And in this case, you should really not focus on whatever your team is doing, but focus on how well you can play. Because everybody makes mistakes at the end of the day. You didn't do anything crazy to win this. Elisa literally outplayed himself and you got a free kill.
No, I was hoping he'd go on me there.
Because
I know he's sort of thirsty for it because he's fed and he wants to press his lead, but I have a W. Maybe
but again, this wasn't anything you did yourself to kill Lee Sin. He walked up to you and killed himself. So
absolutely,
stuff like this happens. But yeah, it's important that we learn to be able to take advantage of these things as well. Elysian spawning, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You can also place a ward in the middle right here, right?
Yeah, I've never done that before. I should really try it.
You should try it out, definitely, in the future when you play your games, because having this ward in the middle will provide you entire vision of this area, right? So if the enemy team shoves in the wave and then they rotate, you have vision indicating where they're going to go, right? So then you can ping appropriately which lane the enemy team is going to go, and then you can ping your team back off, right? Something to think about in the future. Speed up. He sends up. Okay, we go back to lane. We see Viego on dragon. What do you think our game plan is right now?
So I have ulti coming up. I just want to wait a little longer for my ulti to function. We don't have our AD carry, but our Thresh is there. Unfortunately, our Karthus is pathing topside, so I think we end up giving it.
Yes, you give up the dragon. This is good. So, knowing that you give up the wave, or give up dragon, what do you do with your wave?
While they're doing dragon, I think I can shove it, or I can deny the cannon minion and a few. I don't know. I think one minion from the enemy.
Okay.
I don't remember what I ended up doing.
Okay. In my opinion, your best option is to slow push. So just let this wave continue shoving on its own. And by slow pushing, what I mean is to just last hit the minions.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm wondering right now, if the thing is, if I let this slow push, I think I give them an opportunity to come collect the wave. Whereas if I shove this out now, since they're not there, I think they miss more.
No, in reality, currently it's the opposite. So if the enemy mid laner were to rotate and you're slow pushing, you're building up a bigger wave, and the enemy misses minions here. So you're gonna build a bigger wave, and then you're going to have your minions slowly die as you're pushing, if they rotate for the dragon. If they want to get this wave, they're gonna have to be here for it. If you hard shove it, what ends up happening is, because Elysian just respawned and he's pathing back to mid lane as well, is that if you hard shove it, the wave is going to crash here, and then Elysian, all he has to do is E, and then clears the wave, auto attacks, gets all of this for free, and then he rotates to dragon, while the next wave comes and crashes in the middle, right? That's what's going to happen with the wave if you were to fast push. And this gives Elysian minions any XP, gold, essentially. And this doesn't really create any pressure for you either, right? Because you're going to give up this dragon anyway. So slow pushing and keeping the wave in the middle instead will give you the highest pressure at the current moment.
Yeah. I see what you mean now. I'm unsure as to. No, don't worry. Move on.
Not to mention again, because I mentioned that this big wave becomes bigger, right?
Yeah.
By slow pushing. Remember how I mentioned with a bigger wave, you get to play more aggressively.
Yeah.
So then at that point, you get to look for all-in opportunities or trading opportunities to go in on Elysian. And in the future, when you have a bigger wave, you're able to shove it, and then you have tempo to go for wards or roams. Ward, roams, or base timings. Right? So having a bigger wave just gives you a lot more option. And because our game plan is to give up this dragon anyway, just slow push and give yourself a better opportunity in the future. And this is what your goal should be to do right now.
So I'm walking over to try to save the Thresh in case he gets in trouble.
Yeah.
He's just fucked here, so I leave him.
Yeah. So, again, not to mention, had your game plan, you know how we talked it out and said our game plan is to give up this dragon, right?
Is to give what? Sorry.
Give up the dragon.
Yeah.
You gotta ping your Thresh back out, man. This guy's just walking in and inting on his own. This guy's inting right here. But had you pinged him, if you ping him to back off, he's not gonna walk up. He's gonna know that everyone is giving up this dragon. And he's not gonna walk up to that area where all of the enemy is at. And then he wouldn't be dying here, right? This is him inting right now. But you had full control of pinging him to back out at this time. However, this is technically not your fault, so it's okay.
So what I'm thinking, I can actually, because I have ulti now, I can kill the Seraphine plants, which is true. I'm sort of baiting that in because I have my stun W ulti. I'm hoping he Qs it on me. Getting my stacks.
Yeah. I do think
speed.
You could have done it, but it was execution. It was just mechanics that you messed up on. I personally think that because you had gone hook, you couldn't finish your E and you couldn't have gone in, especially when you had a minion right here. Right? So you could have dashed to this minion, you could have had your E, and then you could have hit Seraphine. Right?
Alright, yeah.
Then you could have killed her. You could have R'd, press R, and you could have made a play here. Possibly. But because you had gone hook, none of it happened. Which is perfectly fine. But, again...
I had reservations about, like, I sort of waited, I think I sort of waited for more minions for me to dash to. So, because I didn't want, like, even if Viego engages on me, I think if I have the minions this way I had them set up, right before I went in through my stun, and I'd still have to dash out to even after I killed Seraphine. So.
Yeah.
That was what
it was possible. Not to mention, because you're fighting in this proximity, your tower is going to help you as well, right? So there was an opportunity to limit test here. This was a limit test opportunity. So it was possible. Just letting you know. Nothing happened here. Perfectly fine. So, it's okay. But yeah, mechanics is more of a niche stuff that I don't like to talk about working on. Because all it is just execution. But it entirely was possible. Let's continue. Okay, you have no vision. You let him shove. It's fine. You let Artis, Okay. Decent max out. It's fine. Just clear the wave. Maybe look for a ward. Like chill.
So I suppose he just had to drop it.
Yeah, he dropped it. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so this is tragic.
Does Viego come and gank right now?
Yes, but I think I actually could have ended up killing one of them if something that happened didn't end up happening.
So it looks like Viego came from bottom side here, right?
Yeah.
Remember how I mentioned before, when you cleared the wave and then you walked back, you had a short window of opportunity to get a ward out. So I was thinking you get a ward out right here, for instance. And this would have provided you vision so that you could play more around the top side of your mid lane. And then you see Viego come from here, you could just back out right. But it looks like Viego's coming from bottom. But it's still important to have somewhere you can play off of. So that you're not just in the middle. Because being in the middle technically makes it easy for you to get ganked. You have no vision of enemy bot lane, and you don't know where the enemy jungler is at.
Yeah, so here's double storm ulti. And then like I'm trying to Q onto Viego, but like I'm stuck inside the fucking
Herald. And that's
Harold,
pretty sad.
I have no idea what's going on there.
Yeah, that was pretty sad. I'd say that was a niche mechanic and stuff.
But like, it was so weird because like my cursor just wasn't on Viego, and I couldn't cue the other guy to get my reset. And okay,
Yeah, it do be like that. Again, a bit more on the niche mechanic side. It's definitely very hard to work around where you're doing. In all fairness, just play in the middle, but play back if you don't have any vision to walk any further. Your execution seemed fine for the play itself. Okay. Just be careful here. Okay.
so Dick's the dash in, I ulti, and then I don't get the Q healing. I don't get the triple Q healing that I would have lined up.
Yeah.
And I think I.
Because I'm watching this, and to me this is just mechanics. You get the double E, you W,
I have all of my stacks.
and I'd say you should have queued Viego first, and then you queue Lee Sin.
What?
I'd say you should have queued Viego first, and then you queue Lee Sin.
Okay.
Because this way, you go dash this way, onto Viego, and then because you had stun Lee Sin as well, you can dash onto Lee Sin, and then now you're in the middle of your wave, fighting.
Okay.
This is probably the best case scenario on how to execute the play, but it's still pretty niche. Because do you see how you go back onto Viego and then you press R?
Yeah, and like we can't even see the other guy.
Yeah, we can't even see.
Lisa.
Yeah, you can't even see. You
but-
can't even auto attack properly in that case. Plus, with Karthus having placed the Herald, he should have been here, so you spam ping him to stay as well.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Because this guy's just trolling at that point, but despite him trolling, you can ping him to do the right thing. That's always a possibility. Okay. Your mid lane falls, that's perfectly fine. Just go mid lane. It's fine. You ping, you look bottom. You look bottom here. Because your team is making a play. And you could have TP'd, actually.
Yeah, no, I so sort of the reason I didn't is because I don't know if that works with Viego being there, because I'm 99% sure he gets the executes no matter what, and I don't have ulti, and Lee Sin's there, so even if like Lee Sin's gonna dip as soon as I finish my TP or meanwhile, right?
Yeah.
And then Viego can finish me off, and then just let if Lee Sin ends up landing his Q somehow, I just die.
Okay. So,
but yes, I think if I TP instantly,
if you TP instantly, then it works out. But because you have to TP instantly here, in this case.
Yeah. So like, I was actually looking to TP at this very moment, and then I didn't see Viego. I was like, oh, that guy's fucking dead. And then, he just wasn't. I thought there was no chance that they don't kill Lee Sin there. So I looked back mid to finish farming.
Yeah, so your two options at that point was TP instantly and fight with team. That's option 1. Option 2 is to hard shove mid. And now there's also a third option that I'm seeing right here after you hard shove mid. Do you see what I'm seeing?
Third option.
I'll give you a hint. Look at the mini map.
Okay. I'm looking. Like the thing is, I guess I could go top side, right?
Roam top. Now we took a look at top lane, for instance. After you shove in, you have no vision of enemy bot laner that just respawned. You know Lee Sin and Viego are on bottom side, so there's 2 missing, and then 2 bottom that's possibly rotating mid. So after you shove in, your next best option is to group with your team that's top lane. If you don't make the first option, then you go for this second option here. Look at your minimap, shove in the wave, get all the CS, and then work with your team. Look for picks and opportunities, now that we're in the mid game. But instead, you default to walking up to the tower.
Well, it sort of looked to me like Draven was dead. That's why when you said there's a third option, I was like, he can't be talking about top side, right? But yeah. I think if I went top, that would have not been.
Yeah.
It could have been a waste. It was probably a waste of time.
Well, not necessarily, because again, you're holding on to 2 trinkets.
Okay.
Right?
Could have warded.
So, again, like I mentioned earlier, vision wins you games. You don't really have any vision here. You have Viego is now gone from bottom lane. We don't know. We know most likely he's going to come from the middle river. We don't know where the enemy Sivir and the Seraphine are coming from, but we can make an estimated guess that they're going to come through mid lane. However, we don't know the tempo or timing as to how fast Viego will come mid. So, we need vision to work with first before we can walk up this far. And also, a good thing to note, or at least something I note, and I know some pro players like Rekos keeps note of this, is that you don't go for towers. For towers, unless these points are checked off. So, point number 1 is having vision. Point number 2 is if you can 100% to 0 the tower. And right now, you can probably 100 to 0 the tower with how low it was beforehand. But the one thing you're lacking right now is vision, right? So because you don't have any vision, it's pretty dangerous to walk up here. And I think Sivir and Seraphine have been up for a while, so we don't even know where they're coming from entirely as well. So these are check marks to keep note of when you're going for towers, and this will save you a lot from dying in the future. So if we watch this play, Lee Sin's pinging to help mid. You're still here, overextended. This is scary. Okay, now you back off. And honestly, this is by pure luck that you get out safely.
Can you open the Fog of War?
Yeah. So it looks like they reset instead, right? But it's just that we don't know what they're doing, right?
All right. So, I guess I for some reason you made safer. Maybe it's a bad idea, but I'm not scared of the ball. And I just saw Lee Sin. I know he's bot. They just killed Draven, and Viego was low or something, and he had to.
He wasn't low at all. He was like full HP. I'll show you the play again. That happened.
Yeah, sure.
Where is it? So... Okay, here's Lee Sin, and Viego comes.
Maybe I saw him recalling, I think?
Nope. He was full HP. It was only Lee Sin that was low. But we know Lee Sin stayed bot the entire time. But Viego, on the other hand, if you were watching, stayed full HP. And then he shoves. And then...
Oh, okay. Yeah, but we saw him recall. Alright. Yeah,
no. Well, if you were looking the entire time, which
no,
I assume your camera was.
I know I was looking at the map. I know there was a reason that Viego couldn't come in and kill me. And I wasn't scared.
No, Viego, because I would have been looking at this play, and the most human thing to do, if you're making a play like this, shoving, is that you're going to have your camera on you, right?
Yeah, but I was still looking at my minimap. That's why I'm pushing mid.
You were still looking at your minimap, but it's still frightening. Well, the correct play for both Sivir and Seraphine is to go mid lane, and we don't know what Viego's gonna do. For some reason, he bases, but another logical. Well, inherently no, because in game when you're actually looking, your camera is most likely on you, so you don't actually see what Viego's doing. We just know the fog of war makes him disappear.
But so I just go back a little bit, and so like even if my camera's on me, the reason I'm hitting turret is because I'm looking at my map. And I see him recall. I know he's not coming mid, and same with me.
Hold on.
Okay, just keep the camera on me. Falling dead.
Yep, and then they shove, you shove, you can shove, this is fine. You have no vision though, but you can take this super fast. Okay, we see the recall.
And then I see him recall.
Okay, that's fine. I would have been terrified, just in case, though. Because you never know, he could cancel it, right?
Well, if I don't see him recalling, and like even if he started moving up, like the moment I lost vision of him, it's still going to take him approximately the same amount of time for
30
him
seconds.
to come from his base.
30 seconds.
There. So, and that it took me less than that to clear the way.
Yeah. Well, it's just frightening because I have no vision of the map. This is the most important thing to me, POV ADC mains, because you're gonna get one shot as an ADC. Vision is the most important thing into making a play. Also, the objective right now that's going to spawn is Dragon in 143. But before we talk about that, what should you be doing right now?
So I want to go get vision, or yeah, I'd say I want to go get vision, check bot, or reset buy. Right now I'm considering heading bot lane just to catch the wave. Actually, I think that's what I end up doing. I go bot lane to catch the wave because I have no money. And I let my bot lane have mid.
Here's what I will tell you is the correct play. You had just shoved in mid, so there's no wave mid lane. You know Viego and Lee Sin were just bottom side. You don't know where Sivir and Seraphine are at. And Dragon's not gonna spawn for nearly 2 minutes. The current objective is at Herald, so where you should be pathing is top side. So you can get a ward here, and then you can go for crows.
Yeah,
because you want to make sure
deal with Lee.
Your bot lane will path bottom, because there's nothing to gain at mid lane, so they're gonna path bottom. They're going to catch this wave for you, and then you get farm here as well. Because this way, if you were to path bottom, you get the wave, but you're also sharing a wave with bottom, and then you force your bottom lane to go mid lane because you're at bottom, and then they get nothing because you had already shoved in mid. So now they have to go for the Raptors while they wait. But Temple's already messed up, and then Dragon's gonna be, by that time Dragon's gonna be spawning at 50 seconds, and then you guys haven't reset it or set up a Dragon at all. So it puts everyone behind Temple, and then what's gonna happen because of that tempo mess up, is that you're gonna have to give up dragon. Because because what's gonna happen is that everybody resets late, and nobody's gonna be ready. Right?
Yep.
However, if you walk top lane, get some wards temporarily, you play for the objective that's currently up, which is Herald, and you provide vision for your Karthus, and then you continue making income through crows, and then you can reset. And then once your bot lane catches the bottom lane wave, they can go mid afterwards because the wave will be shoved in by Sivir, and then you can match going bottom after you reset, right? And then this way you'll tempo around like 130 before dragon spawn.
Alright. Yep, that makes sense. So I think this is probably my biggest error of the game so far, aside from not wording.
Oh yeah, there's everyone makes
different type of error.
This is more like a tempo macro error, knowing what the exact correct thing to do is.
I think that this has been the biggest problem so far, though.
Because look at how long you waste walking back and forth, and then walking to bottom. And then, do you see how your ADC is forced to go mid lane here now, right? And then you missed a bit of CS because of that. So let's just see how the game plays out. It's already 120. And you guys can't set up vision for dragon just yet because everyone has to shove out waves again.
Yeah, also, like, we have 2 people doing that.
Now this is when you reset. However, this is resetting at 1 minute, right? You want to reset at 1:30 because this gives you 30 seconds to work with
To set up vision
and then path back for dragon. Because 1 minute before dragon spawns, this is when you're prepping to fight right now.
Yeah. Alright.
But because you, again, how I predicted, or not even predicted, it's just game knowledge after you study it enough times, you don't have the tempo to base right now because you need to be here to fight. But you do have TP, so it kind of gets you away from this issue. But sometimes when you're playing mid lane, you'll have Ignite, right?
Yeah, yeah. Take Ignite into things like mages.
Yeah. So if
Some
you had
mages.
Ignite here, for instance, you wouldn't have been able to tempo correctly for this play.
A summoner has
Right.
disconnected.
Your GP disappears, and then your
Yeah,
mid lane
my
is
Karthus
forced back.
dies. So we just have to go dragon here because junglers do.
And now look at how little vision and how unprepped this dragon is for your team now, because of a simple thing, just as going bot lane instead of going for crows. All from that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So macro is definitely a very important thing to focus on. Efficiency in macro as well. On another note, what do you think the correct thing to do is right now? After having to get dragon?
I think so. Right now, I think I can make a play mid if they overstay. Alternatively, there's nowhere for me to farm, and Gangplank's going top, so I should farm jungle.
Okay. I'd say pathing mid initially is correct. You want to hover just in case. And then from there, because you're giving up dragon, you want to ping your Gangplank to go bottom. And then you want to take whatever jungle camps are up while you're pathing top, and then go top lane. Or you path up top entirely after mid lane. Because you want to be on the opposite side of the map. You want to get as much gold as possible.
Okay. Yeah. And so they
Nothing's really happening here, right?
I couldn't even flash all PP in range.
Nothing's happening here right now. So your best play right now is to go top lane immediately. There's no shots that you guys contest dragon at all. Just give it. And you guys have no pressure in this jungle either.
Yeah, I should have pinged my support away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so
super
so sad. I don't know why he was so fast. I don't.
he has a bit more movement speed due to his items and just base stats. But again, like, this isn't the correct play here.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want
Yeah.
to go for it.
And also execution. I think you could have killed had you flashed properly towards him.
Yeah, the thing is, I didn't know exactly. So like, we didn't have vision there, and so we
Yeah.
flashed over the wall, and we were like, fuck.
Yeah. So again, get the stun off. He dies. Okay, that's pretty good execution. Walk closer, flash at the same time. You had range. Had you flash from here to here, you could have autoed him immediately.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. So again, niche stuff. I don't like to talk about this, but again, this is just mechanics. It happens. But the most important thing to get down is that you should have been top lane instead here, right? You guys are not getting this dragon. There's no shots. Your Karthus is dead. He got caught. Tempo, everything went wrong
I
because
think
of your team's
also
tempo.
something that maybe you didn't mention. I shouldn't be trying to deal with Lee Sin since he's ahead of me. I should be trying to deal with Draven and get farther ahead. Positionally.
Exactly,
So
because he's
I think
weaker.
This is
Yeah, he's weaker, and you'll be able to kill him more consistently than you would kill the Lee Sin, right?
yeah. Maybe I can even 2v1 depending on
Uh-huh.
the situation.
The most
If I can-
important thing that I want you to understand from the last 2 minutes that I talked about here is that you messed up the tempo that caused the whole team to fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
So this is inherently your fault why you guys
Yeah.
can't contest this dragon. And then from there, after that mistake, your next redemption play is to go top lane. Because that's the correct play. Kill Draven, get pressure top. You guys are not contesting dragon whatsoever. There's no shots, you have no vision, you guys are behind. Go top lane, play on the other side of the objective, kill Draven, and then just shove out top all the way.
I have a question.
What's up?
So like, if you go up like if you go from one division to another, or like D rank from one division to like down to a different one,
Uh-huh.
does that reset your MMR if it's like a whole rank? Like, you know,
No, it
fuck.
doesn't.
That's so sad.
Your rank and your MMR are on 2 different scales. So
No, I figured that. I heard something about like if you go from like plat to diamond, your MMR is like soft reset or something.
yeah, if you go from like P1 to D4, there's like a soft reset.
All right, so honestly, maybe I just derank myself to gold 1 so I can go back to plat.
No, that's the wrong mindset to think of.
Well, I don't know. So like
It's
even
very
if
tiny.
if I were to go on like a 10-game win streak and just go straight up to plat like 3, my MMR is still fucked, and I'm still probably in that case I'm actually getting even less LP.
Inherently, no. How do I explain it? Because the way MMR works, let me go to somewhere that's empty. So Steven Spring. The way MMR works is that in simple term, you win more, MMR goes up, right?
Yeah.
The only reason why it stays stagnant at times is due to your win ratio, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have like, if you lose a lot of games, you'll gain, and your in-game tier average in-game is like, say your rank is P3,
Mm-hmm.
but then your tier average is like Gold 1, P4, you're going to gain less MMR. Or gain less LP. Because your MMR is below your rank. Right? Does this make sense?
So recently, like within like 30 games, like recent 30 games, 80% win rate. Stay 13 LP gains entire time.
Yeah. The way it works is it's also dependent on how many games you played.
So I felt like 30 with an 80% win rate. Yeah.
Plus,
maybe.
what else is it? How many games you've played? Plus, how many games you played? What else is there to affect MMR going up? Winning a lot. Prior MMR. Plus winning more. So,
Yeah, here, let me.
and then plus the tier average you're playing in as well. This is the most important one.
Yeah. Here we go. And like on average, everybody in my game was higher ranked than me. Except for a little while ago. What? Nope. Yeah.
So this, everything that I just listed out here will determine your LP gain. In short, if you want to raise your MMR, you have to win more. But not only that, you have to balance out your tier average, right? So let's say I jumped from P4 to P1, right? Because I'm smurfing and I just win a lot, right? But my MMR stays high P4. What that's going to affect is that I gain less LP. Lose.
Yeah, I understand this. We should ideally move on to the game.
I want to explain this because this is happening to one of my accounts right now, actually. So I'm gaining less LP and I lose more LP. However.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Oh, what's up, Steven?
Right now we're talking about MMR.
Yeah.
But we were sort of talking about. So remember that play where I went bot because Lee Sin was bot and you went mid.
Wait, what was this game?
So
I remember this
with
is the RE shit.
Yeah.
Okay, what? I don't remember it, but whatever.
I didn't TP bot lane. You guys died, and then I got the turret, and then Lee Sin was pushing up, so I decided to go bot, and you decided to go mid. We were just talking about how that sort of screwed up the tempo for the game.
Okay.
Entire game, and that was a big mistake.
Well, let's look at it. Can I see it?
Sure.
Hold on. I'm writing this out. It might be sideways though.
No, we got it.
So,
we can read it.
what I wanted to explain is, even if I get to P1, what I can do to have my MMR catch up is I can start losing games and then winning games again. So I'm flipping games by winning and losing because my MMR hasn't caught up yet. So playing more games in P1 by winning and losing and staying in that elo will allow my MMR to catch up. Once it's caught up to P1 MMR, that's when my LP gains will fix itself and be stabilized again. But if I want to gain more than like 17 LP, then I have to just significantly win more in a higher elo average. A way to do that is to duel with a friend that's higher ranked than you. Because by that standard, say if I was P1 and I was duel with D3, my games are going to be D4, D3 average with some P1s. And
In-
because my games are higher tier average, it's going to make my account have higher MMR. And then I gain more LP that way as well.
Yeah, in most of the games I actually sent you, I was duo with my cousin who's plat 1.
Oh, yeah. So then that raises
And,
your
uh,
MMR.
The issue with that is that my MMR stayed the same. Or my
Oh.
LP gains stayed the same.
Well, you have to win.
It's only gonna raise your MR if you win.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we were winning a lot. Like, here, let me just dump
Yeah.
this in chat. And you can
Okay,
see.
so
But
can
you
I see
also
the
have to
play?
rank
Like,
up
whatever.
too.
Who cares about MMR? It's just like this has nothing to do with the game.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
you just
well-
win more, and that's it.
Yeah, just win. Like
You, correct.
that winning will always increase the MMR. Losing will always lower it.
Steven.
Yeah.
I know this. we're no longer talking about MMR. My boy.
Okay.
He wanted to.
Yeah.
Oops! I accidentally clicked on that. He wanted to drive it.
Yeah, I see the image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, like here is the farther zoomed out one. There you go.
Yeah.
That was basically.
Yeah. So it does look like your MMR is going up. That's the thing. Your MMR is going up and it looks like your tier average is going up. You just need to stabilize it at that point
Alright,
from there. Right?
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water.
Okay.
You can show Steven.
Oh yeah,
the,
yeah. I can show Steven where also Steven, you're trolling for not pinging this and not realizing.
Wait, what?
So this is where your game gets really fucked.
Okay.
Do you know what's wrong right now? That your
Someone needs to
Irelia
cover
is
Bob.
doing. Okay, and who's that person going to be?
Anyone who can match it. Irelia is fine.
No.
No, wait. Baron's coming up. I'm spawning soon. I should cover bot.
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
No, I can cover
Yes.
bot. I can
Yes,
match
you
Lee,
cover
yeah.
bot. Yes.
Thresh should start warding up Baron right now.
Or Herald, but no. In reality, he goes with you bottom.
No, wait. Irelia has TP. She
Yes.
can go bot.
No,
Yeah.
not right now. Do you know when? Look at Dragon Timer spawner.
I don't see Dragon Spawner. What?
Dragon Time spawner.
There's no
is at
Dragon spawner.
147.
That's that's Dragon Spawner.
So
Oh,
look
wait,
at the
I
timer,
thought.
and
Okay.
I want you to tell me what the correct play is. For
I
Irelia.
mean, if GP wants to swap with her, she can do that. That would be nice.
Oh my god, the macro quizzing.
Okay.
What?
Okay, welcome back. So,
But I doubt GP will move
uh-huh,
Yeah.
Then-
I don't think GP would have.
because he's going to be setting up barrel, so he doesn't want to abandon those.
uh-huh. So, what's the best way to tempo everything correctly that Irelia is able to get the most efficient gold, help the team, and set up for Dragon all at the same time?
What are enemy death timers? I can't see them. There's a
And look at the scoreboard.
thingy
I
in the
have
way.
it up. I have it up.
okay. 23 seconds on Draven.
Yes, and
everyone
you
else
know
missed it.
Viego was bottom. Sivir and
You know
Seraphine were
Viego
missing.
was bottom?
Viego was
Okay.
bottom because he just killed your ass down there.
Okay. Wait, is Rift Herald about to spawn?
Yes.
I think you guys can just start Rift Herald, honestly. Right now.
Yeah. No, I definitely should have done Herald there.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's inherently not wrong.
Yeah. After Rift Herald, Irelia goes top, pings GP to go mid. I'll go bot. Thresh should also go mid. But GP can't get prio for shit, so we should swap after GP and me. But that's later.
Mm-hmm.
That changes,
Okay.
but it changes a lot based on what we can see.
Yeah.
Later. I mean-
Here's...
Because once something looks like a fight is gonna start or someone's overextending, it's good to lean towards them.
Yeah. Well, GP staying top is perfectly fine with me. Here's the thing. because GP's already there, and you're really just shoved mid. The person that's best to
Not
cover
after Rift.
here, well, not after Rift. Well, here, let me explain for Dragon.
Okay.
The best thing that Irelia needs to do right now is because she's still collecting gold, right, before she bases, is to go for Raptors and get wards on the top
What's
side.
her gold?
718.
700. Okay.
So you have 2 wards down, Irelia. You place them in river, and then you go for Raptors. What Vayne and Thresh are supposed to do is path bottom and get the wave that Lee Sin is shoving.
You
And-
shouldn't go for Raptors here. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, Irelia goes for Raptors here. Vayne goes bottom. Irelia gets Raptors, resets, paths bottom. After Vayne collects the bottom wave, Irelia is going to be there, and then the enemy ADC and support will have shoved out mid lane. So your team's ADC and support will be in mid lane by that time to match them already, and then it'll be 1 minute 30 seconds, and then you guys shove out mid. You guys can tempo for Dragon, set it up, and you guys will all be there in time. Does that make sense? Because this is if the enemy team gets this dragon, it's third dragon as well.
Why not Rift though?
Why not Rift Herald?
Yeah.
Second Rift Herald was
Viego was just bought and Draven's dead.
Viego's been MIA for a long time now, so we don't know.
You
where
said
he's
he
at.
was just bought.
Well, he was
He
just
finished
bought
his
for
recall.
like he already finished
Finished
his
his
recall, or like he's been missing for 10-15 seconds already.
Okay, if he's missing for 10-15 seconds, then yeah.
Yeah, so
you
Rift
don't
Herald
start
is really risky, and then you don't know where the enemy ADC and support are at. So Rift Herald is really risky, and in the words of Best Poppy NA Qlocks, second
Yeah.
Rift Herald is useless most of the time.
Okay, but there are people who are higher ranked than him who say second Rift is just fine. So
Well, I have to agree with Ethan here. In this case scenario, that second Rift Herald is useless.
if it's free, it's better than Raptors. But in
Well,
this case, it's not free.
in
I
this
was just
case,
told
it's
that
not
Viego
free.
was just shown bot.
For like, and he's been missing for like.
Like
15
I was assuming
seconds.
you basically just saw
Oh no,
Viego is basically on top
he's
of
been
lead
missing
here.
for 15
Okay.
seconds now.
Okay, so if Viego's bot, then Rift is fine, but otherwise no.
We don't know because he's either basing or rotating mid right now.
Okay.
So the best option here is to get vision in top river, and to go for Raptors, reset, tempo for bot lane. Your ADC can go mid lane, and then you guys will have tempo on time for dragon spawning, and you guys can get vision this way, and then you guys can contest the enemy team getting third dragon.
Yeah, especially because our top lane and jungle end up doing Rift Herald anyway.
Uh-huh.
I think I just hover up there.
Mhm.
So-
Okay, so this is late.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is, what Irelia does is he hovers and wastes a bunch of time choosing to go bottom or not, and then he goes bottom, and because of that, he forces you to go mid lane,
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
and nobody takes the Raptors. And then now it's 1 minute 20 seconds, and you guys cannot tempo in time for dragon.
Here's the thing, assuming your team starts Rift anyway, which is not good, if they see Irelia bot, they're less likely to think they're doing it.
Well, here's the thing. We want to play for Dragon, not Rift. Had you been here, you would have been resetting at 120 instead of 1 minute, alright? If it was Vayne that was here shoving out bot, Vayne would have been able to shove out this wave earlier and reset around 130 instead, right?
Mhm.
And then you could have gone Dragon afterwards. Because Irelia would be here getting this wave, and then you would have been here on time, and you would have gone a second wave instead of just one, right? And then Thresh would have tempoed in time, and he could have gone vision for Dragon, is what I'm trying to say.
That's fair. Yeah.
The most important play that we want to fight for right now is Dragon. And it's spawning in 1 minute, and
Second
nobody
Rift
is ready.
Herald?
Second
Is that
Rift Herald?
first or second?
Second,
Rift?
second.
Second?
Welcome, Ethan.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
it's 16 minutes anyway.
Herald is
Oh, hello. Katie.
garbage. I'm presuming you're red side, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that Herald is garbage. You guys have. What are you gonna do with this, huh? Wait, like, what are you gonna do? Look at your map. It's so incredibly bad.
I think we all agree with you that this Herald is.
Take your jungle camps instead, and then path bot and get some wards up for drag. And
Yeah,
you may
exactly.
or may not look to fight it. You're down 3k. Lee Sin is very fed, and he used it very badly. Actually, his items are garbage. They're all very squishy. You can look a pick off, especially with Thresh.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, that Herald. Not only is second Herald just garbage, you like, all in all, there are just better things on the map to do. Like, farming is literally better than second Herald
Yes.
in almost all cases.
That's what I was trying
Almost
to
all.
explain to them. just
Especially
now.
when you're behind. Like, taking Rift Herald when you're behind,
It's so useless.
it
It's not like you
depends.
can use
It depends if you can make
I
a
know.
play. Karthus might be looking to make a play, but he's out of mana now, has to reset. Reset, go back for Dragon, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but, like... all in all, you don't really want that Rift.
I'm just trying to point out is that they should have been farming, and they all messed up their where they all should have been on the map, so they can't tempo for dragon in time, and now they can't even
They're
get vision
fine.
for dragon.
They're fine right now. It doesn't really matter.
It's 1 minute. Before
I mean,
dragon
as long
spawns,
as
they
you're
can't even
within like
reset.
30 seconds of dragon, you're usually okay.
Yeah, it's just preferred 1 minute here since they're behind, and so they're not gonna have vision for the most part. Really, Karthus gets caught here as well because they were doing.
Oh yeah,
Herald,
then you're
right?
done. You don't
Then you're
even,
done.
you don't bother.
You don't bother with
You
dragon.
don't bother
go top lane
contesting
here
dragon.
as Irelia.
You could go top, look for a pick on Draven.
Uh-huh.
You don't have any wards.
Yeah.
Your entire top side of the map is completely blank, which is very scary.
Yeah, that too.
And most of your bot side is also completely blank, which is also very bad.
So you guys have no vision to work with for intel.
I mean, like that, and you just can't TP anywhere.
Yeah, you can't TB anywhere, and then your Karthus got caught because everyone tempo was messed up, and so
Your
you
Karthus
can't
got
really-
caught because he was being stupid.
Yeah.
Let's be real here.
being stupid.
You're not gonna
my
get
God,
caught
that
a
Venom.
minute before Dragon. If you get caught a minute before Dragon, then you as a jungler, you failed your job.
But what I want to distinguish, what's important here, is that Irelia should have gone for Raptors and ping his Karthus and GP did not take Herald, and to do more productive things, and also pinging the Dragon so that the whole team knows to play for it, right? But because there really wasn't any ping on red side about Dragon, nobody tempoed
I
for
mean, you can presume it in your head. It's not that hard. But I guess,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's better to communicate it rather than just assuming that your team will play for it, right?
I mean, it's fine. Anything is fine. It's like, there are a lot of things that are just fine. Like, that's honestly, like, the thing here is, there's the only learning point I see here is, yeah, Karthus gets picked, great, you guys don't go to Dragon.
Yeah, you go.
I mean, like, it's not terrible. Nothing you do is like, oh my gosh, you need to fix it. It's fine. I'm very relaxed on gameplay. It's not hard.
No, I'm not relaxed after seeing this Karthus die again.
Yeah, I don't really care for... I mean, like, it's super... Jungle is such an easy role. And it's the most important role in the game. It sucks. It's okay.
Yo, even jungle mains want jungle nerfed. Holy fuck.
Not a jungle man. But if you
No,
look
not
at
you.
my-
I'm saying even in general, jungle mains.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no way to, like, nerf it super hard, though. That's the other thing.
Just reduce the gold XP from jungle camps.
Yeah.
But then you're so weak, and then top lane becomes a problem again. Ha ha
Yeah.
ha ha.
This is true.
Yeah.
Sure,
Oh,
better than now.
Also,
At least
like,
it's an island.
you see how like your whole team made a play on the Draven on top side, like I mentioned earlier, Irelia.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to make a play on the Draven because I know you could have done it yourself. But most importantly, because you're not contesting for this dragon anymore, because your Karthus got caught because of some tempo issues, you could have been hard shoving this top lane entirely as well, knowing that the entire enemy team is going to be on bot side, playing for dragon, right? So then you don't have to play this scared in your jungle, not getting anything. You could be on top side, on the other side of the map, constantly getting CS. If you were here to begin with, right? So I'd say this playing on top side after your card has gone caught with some tempo issues from you and everyone else would have been a more proactive play to come back from. Overall, this game is just really hard to play right now, just because it's so early in the game still, 17 minutes, and the enemy team already has 3 dragons, right? And I had
dragons, 3 turrets.
3 dragons, so all they have to do is get
And
another
then
dragon,
what do
get
you do
over.
on the 4th? What do you do for 4th dragon?
We get it.
We
Because
get
Karthus
it,
dies
our
again.
Karthus dies again, and so does our Thresh, I think.
Game is over from there.
Yeah, at that point you might just want to run it down for dragon.
Uh-huh.
Unironically, I
Mhm.
think that is actually the best play.
At that point. Yeah.
Is if you don't get that dragon, you virtually lose. It depends on your comp though, and you're playing what Irelia something something. Kid's gonna go sleep. Nobody left. Yeah, you're playing Irelia something something, and I'm relatively sure you guys are not a late game carry scale comp. So, yeah, you guys definitely just want to
there's
in for the
the-
dragon. If anything, you get the game over sooner.
Mhm.
It happens.
Mhm.
I mean, like honestly, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Well, I already VOD reviewed the early game with Irelia over here, so there were definitely things that could have made the game easier for them. But all in all, yeah. So at this point, the game's relatively over.
Okay, let's see what happens before the 4th trick.
Oh, this is so sad. I don't know, I thought I could 1v1 him, but
Yeah.
Shut down.
he was bad, man.
Yeah. You can path mid or top. Either options are fine. You get a lot of CS here.
Yeah, I wanted to try to freeze it, but I don't know, Karthus threatened taking it from me, so I just...
You also have 2 trinkets still after all this time. This seems to be your biggest issue, is that you don't ever use your trinkets.
Yo, it's the same with Chow.
I
You
use my
do not.
trinkets. What do you mean?
I had to remind you the other day. You had 2 trinkets,
Well, on
and it
Riven.
could be an easy war. On a Riven? I mean, yeah, your Riven was just iffy. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm 2 years washed. Give me some time to play Riven again. Also, just like, you guys have no vision. Not a lot of vision in your topside jungle, right? So, whole enemy team is trying to make a play topside. You guys honestly don't ever win any fights.
We almost just crushed this. The thing is that my final Q gets my Q on the dragon
Yeah.
So I actually just straight up almost win that fight by myself.
Yeah. At the same time, though, the rest of your team isn't looking so hot, right? A more consistent play that
I think
would have
it's
done.
actually very close.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, although you're doing okay, the rest of your team isn't really doing so hot. So you do have to take into account of them as well. If I were you here, my go-to plan would have just been to go straight bottom and split push. I would have just given up the Baron. It's not like I'm gonna win. And if my team actually tries to do something on Baron and it looks good, I can TP because I have TP, right?
Alright.
Yeah. If I was in Steven's shoe playing ADC here, I would have just been splitting bot as well, while my Irelia mid stays with team. And I would have just given up Baron entirely and get more CS down here. I mean, there's not really much I can do. I just have to farm up.
Wait, why not me split top, Irelia split bot?
Because the objective right now is Baron. But you guys aren't gonna win a fight at Baron.
Yeah, but I don't have TP, so why am I bot? If there's a fight that looks good, I can't TP to it because I don't have TP.
Oh,
But
you
Irelia
just wanna let your team die and get as much CS as possible. That's one option. The other option is that you could have gone top and let Irelia split. I mean, because you two are dual, you could do this more coordinatedly. So Irelia preferably splits bottom and shoves it out all the way, and you stay grouped with your team because you're fed.
Yeah, I think that's the play.
That's the play. Oh, my Discord restarted. Damn, Discord restarted.
Welcome
Hold on. But if you were completely
Discord
solo,
Mm-hmm.
as if playing on your own, I would have just gone bottom as the ADC here because I would have just counted on my whole team dying and losing the fight anyway.
If you're ADC, you should be in the mid lane almost all the time, depending.
Yeah, that's
Especially if you have a roaming laner or somebody
Uh-huh.
with mobility, it makes it really,
Yeah.
really easy.
Yeah, typically you could also be in mid lane. Oh, Discord restarted. Sheesh. Yeah, ADC usually temples mid as well during mid game. So these are all just options to consider for the
I mean,
future.
mid lane is super easy to defend. It's super protected. If they don't have vision on anybody, they can pretty much assume always that you're there, or that like somebody is around you, and it just makes it really easy to not die.
Yeah.
And your goal on ADC is to not die, fight out team fights.
I think I misplayed that right there.
Yeah, but we're not focused on you right now.
Fair.
We don't care about you, Steven. Sorry.
Get out of here, nerd.
Oh, I'm Steven. I have a video game. I'm cool. Yeah, whatever. Whatever you want.
Okay. Okay, cool. Steven does something. He gets a double kill. But yeah, I really like split push his bot entirely, right? Knowing that the Baron is gone. This is what you should have been doing earlier, preferably.
Yeah, and so right now I want to recall and set up the
Uh-huh.
dragon.
Well,
It's unfortunate about the
pretty
wave.
late, but yeah.
Well, I still have TP,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah.
our Karthus goes to farm.
But
his
inherently,
Raptors.
you've had TP up this entire game, so you haven't really used it. You've used it once. Since that point on,
Being the
you've
lane
had
is
it.
just fine.
Uh,
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Yeah, Temple's gone, Dragon's gone. You guys lose soul. Game is relatively over from here.
How much are they down when they lose soul? And
Not
what soul
big.
is it?
It's Infernal.
Yikes, that's big.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst ones you could possibly lose.
Yeah. Oof. Steven's
I mean, if it's
dying.
Ocean Soul, like, and you guys are down like 2k, it's like, well, we'll build some Grievous and, you
Yeah.
know, have a fun time.
You guys are down 6k, and it's an
God.
Infernal Soul.
So unfortunately the Diego died, so I couldn't do that.
Oh, Steven. Oh, execution.
This is what I was talking about. Holy
Oh, no. This was execution on both of you two. This was a mechanics issue. You guys could have cleaned this up.
I mean, I didn't have anybody to dash to, so I
Yeah.
had
Well, I also blame Steven because he literally stood in front of
I
you
stood
and
behind,
got
yeah.
hit by Lisanar. So, a more niche topic mechanics to work on.
You can't face tank Lisanar for your teammates. Fun fact. That is not how that one works,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
The game is pretty much over at this point.
Yep.
But overall, like, a lot of macro stuff, primarily, right?
Mm.
So, most important thing to study, if you can. Mechanics is a niche thing, but that also needs work on. And second most important is to use your wards and to find the opportunities to use your wards. Because you've held 2 trinkets for like 6+ minutes in this one game alone. So, you still have 2 trinkets right now, for instance, right? That's vision you could be having that you're not having. Bit iffy about basing here. I honestly think you could have kept pushing, but you'd have to wait and watch.
As
Before deciding.
originally, I saw them all like on the map for a second. It's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I need to go stop that.
Yeah.
But then I immediately regretted it.
Yeah, definitely. I would have waited a bit back. After you shove in this, the wave is gonna crash here. I would have waited like where this wave is right now. And then the moment I see everyone on the map, that's when I decide, okay, I can go back to pushing. Because nobody's here to stop me, right? And this also puts pressure on the enemy team to...
Use your Farsight wards for that as well. The important bushes are the ones next to like red and blue buff in the jungle, or like the areas. And if you get to see, I mean, like, the main traffic walks through there. It's really hard to like not. It'd mess up your pathing a lot. And you slowly work your way up to like having enough blue wards that you could just see the entire jungle and just go split through it.
Yeah. Oh, it's also, I'm mentioning this because this is a split pushing thing in the future that you can do, just so that you can get consistent gold from CS, and then you also get vision, and you're putting pressure on the map, so the enemy team may react to you here, and then you can just base and then waste their time because they have to walk to you, but you're already out, right? Or if they try and make a play mid lane, you just continue splitting, or you could TP. So many different options that you have just from pushing a wave in all the way.
You want to know what's more efficient than split pushing though?
What's up?
If you freeze the lane at tier 2.
Oh, LS.
That's pretty nice.
LS. It's LS.
But legitimately, freezing the
that
lane
too,
is
though.
really useful in the late game because you have no risk of dying. If there's no objective for you to put pressure on, who cares?
Then who cares?
And it's like, yeah, sure, I get free farm and I get to deny them free farm. And if they want to walk up and try to kill me, they can go ahead.
Yep.
It's really hard.
That too. Yeah.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Steven getting caught there.
A summoner has
Nice.
disconnected.
Yep.
And then game is
Getting
just
caught
over.
before objectives is doomed.
Yeah. Can't even
If you
defend
get
the
caught
base.
before a main team fight or an objective, it's very, very bad.
Yeah.
I'm so troll.
You good?
Wait. Ah, shoot. I'm so troll. I'm very upset at myself.
Oh, what's up?
I missed Graves' E over a wall.
Oh, yikes.
What? He lived? Oh my god.
Hey, Steve.
Hey.
You want to start the queue?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, all of that was as informative as it could be for you. Just a bit of stuff to work on, and then any
Yeah.
other games in the future, you can always just hit me up to watch, and then yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to try to apply some of the things you taught me today, and then I'll probably hit you up again.
Yep.
Maybe tomorrow or the next day, we'll see.
Just keep practicing, just keep playing, and just keep studying.
If
Yo,
you
just
don't,
dodge every skill shot, bro. That's all I can say.
Oh,
I mean, don't be
no.
afraid to go like the stuff like cleanse or maybe not QSS, but unless like they have like heavy CC, but don't be afraid to go cleanse or exhaust or stuff like that. Makes the game a lot easier for you to play.
Don't.
Somebody here doesn't abide by those rules, but I won't tell you who. Don't you worry.
I'm sensing.
And also, I am Master's top man, which is why you should listen to me. No, JK, but like that's my credibility.
Yeah.
Sorry. So like I just came in here randomly, and I'm like I would need some credibility before anybody listens to me.
No, people have been joking about Q locks the #1 Poppy jungle for a while.
Not Poppy Jungle. Oh, I never played Poppy Jungle. It's only
best
Poppy.
NA.
Okay, sorry. Best
I got that
Poppy.
stripped away from me too, so that's okay.
Yeah.
My account is Decayed Masters now. It's now D1.
One of my accounts on like out of like 4 boxes, I got the ultimate skin for Ezreal, the ultimate skin for Lux, and then I got the Hextech gemstone thing for Poppy.
Yes, sir.
No, Ethan's no longer best Poppy NA.
Is there
I'll
like a
get it
significant difference between Master and D1? Like, is the gameplay different?
I literally, right now, cannot climb out of D2 on this account, mostly because of 4 AM queue. But, like, the difference is massive between D1 players and Masters. Like, a D1 and Masters game feels... It's night and day. You'll instantly be able to tell, like, what kind of people you're playing with.
Yeah.
Everybody is super consistent. There's...
Oh, in my damn Discord.
D2, every other game I play, at least at 4 a.m., is somebody is 10 deaths or doesn't know how to play their role.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, at 4 a.m., autofill exists, obviously, but like somebody with 10 deaths in master games, you don't get more than 5 in lane, if ever. Like you don't die.
Except I'm a cutie pie.
I mean, true, but he doesn't play anymore. Well, the thing is when Cutie was playing, people didn't know how to freeze lane, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
It's a little
Players
different.
sucked back then.
Oh god.
Players didn't suck. They just were playing it their own way, which is
Yeah.
fine. Like genuinely, it's still good gameplay.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's just that
But, like-
today is a lot more refined than back then.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
very, very, very much more refined.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I mean.